Today we're talking about gluten-free grains 101. Hi, my name is Jessica Drummond. I'm the founder of the Integrative Pelvic Health Institute, where we train physical therapists, clinical nutritionists, and all kinds of nutrition professionals to use nutrition and coaching tools to help women with women's health issues like chronic pelvic pain, pregnancy, female athletes, women in menopause, bone health. We run the gamut. So today, one of the most common questions I'm asked is, what kind of grains should I eat? What do you mean by gluten-free grains? So we know that gluten itself, which is a protein that's part of wheat, is damaging and is known to be problematic for a lot of women's health conditions. Everything from endometriosis to lichens planus. So what I want you to know is there are other options. Our patients don't have to be 100% grain-free to be gluten-free. So these are grains we're going to talk about today that have no gluten in them at all. Especially, you do have to be a little careful of cross-contamination in things like oats, but these grains are generally not cross-contaminated either. Let me show you what they are. The first is millet. This is kasha or buckwheat, little buckwheat groats. This is quinoa, and these are short and long grain brown rice. One other one that I actually ran out of in my pantry today, if you can believe it, welcome to my kitchen, is amaranth. So between these 5 things, rice, amaranth, quinoa, buckwheat, and millet, you have some grain options that you can share with your patients even if they're going gluten-free. Before you use the grains and cook them, you have a few things that are best to do with them. First thing you want to do is, if you remember to do this, which I forget all the time, so don't worry if you do forget, but if you remember, put a spare amount of salt. I believe it's about a quarter to a half teaspoon per half cup of grain and 1 cup of water. So you put salt, and again, don't worry about measuring that. Put a bunch of salt with the grains that you want to cook the next morning and fill the bowl with water. And that's how you soak the grains overnight. And if you do this, especially if you have trouble digesting grains, it works really well because it helps to make these grains more digestible. It helps get rid of the phytic acid, which makes it challenging to digest these grains for some people. So if at night you soak it overnight, and in fact, we'll pretend we did soak this overnight, and then you just pour it through a strainer. And you do want to strain your grains even if you don't soak them, because these grains have been in these like bulk bins at their grocery store for who knows how long. You want to get them as fresh as possible, but you never can quite know how long that's been. And you want to rinse them out because they can have, a little mouse poop in them or bug poop or little bugs. They come from these big warehouses, so you really want them rinsed out. Of course, eating that, it's not going to kill you, it's just a little protein, but I prefer to have my grains as clean as possible. So you rinse these out, and then all we need to do, so if this is a cup of grains, we'll get it good and rinsed, shake it out as much of the excess water as possible, and then pour into your pot, your saucepan. And this is the way I cook grains to make it really simple. So 1 cup of grains to 2 cups, and even better if you're a precise chef and you use a liquid measure, but again, I'm kind of lazy in the kitchen and it still works out. 2 cups of water, 1 cup of grains, 2 cups of water, and this works for any of these gluten-free grains. Then put some salt in for flavor. The other option would be, instead of water, to use bone broth or chicken broth. And I put about a tablespoon of olive oil, a nice splash of olive oil in there so the grains don't stick. So to cook any of these gluten-free grains, we talked about soaking them, rinsing them, then add a little salt, a little olive oil, and I cook them all the exact same way. Turn on the heat to high, and you want this to boil. And then all you do once it's boiling is put the top on, lower it to simmer, low or simmer, kind of depending on your oven, and let it go. Quinoa is the fastest. That'll only take about 15 minutes. Millet and buckwheat take about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on, how fast the water cooks down. And brown rice can take up to 45 to 60 minutes. So you just want to keep an eye on it. Honestly, a lot of times I'll set this going and take a shower in the morning and forget and come back and look at it. And that's all you have to do. Then once it's cooked, just turn it off, and you can use it in any recipe, and it stays good in the refrigerator for up to 4 days, which is really helpful. So you can make it in big batches and use it in your recipes throughout the week. So there you have it, Gluten-Free Grains 101. I'm Jessica Drummond from the Integrative Public Health Institute. I'm so glad to welcome you into my kitchen today, and I will see you next time. Bye. If you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends. And before you go to my website, integrativepelvichealthinstitute.com. Fill in your name and email at the boxes on the top right-hand side of the homepage and click submit. And before you go, I would love it if you would leave me a comment below this video. I love hearing from you.